Good morning, Emerson. Today is Tuesday, October 29th. The World Series is headed back to Fenway. We're going to give you an update on last night's game.
And later, I took a visit to the Boston Opera House, so we've got some inside coverage of Boston Ballet's latest performance, La Bayadere. I'm Maggie Morlath.
And I'm Anthony Chase. Welcome to Good Morning, Emerson.
On our show today, Christian will be taking us behind the scenes of the Will and Grace set and why it's leaving us here at Emerson.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that, but I guess it's not straying too far from the Emerson community. We'll have more on that later from Christian. Excited to see that. But first, tomorrow is a big day because of some baseball game, but almost more importantly, President Obama is coming to Boston.
That's right. He's coming. He's going to be speaking about the recent issues with the Obamacare system, and he's trying to pull for that one. So it's going to definitely be an interesting day tomorrow. But then after that, we will be discussing Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson's lawyer, who was just released from jail. He was released early, so there's a little bit of controversy over that one. Yeah,
it seems like just yesterday we were talking about the trial happening and him being, put in jail, and now he's already out, so it's kind of, that's an interesting story, but I know Brittany has more on that, so we're excited to have some fun today. But first, we have to go to Brittany Gervais at the news desk for the headlines.
Good morning, everybody. Here are some of the top stories this week. The doctor convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the death of Michael Jackson was released from jail overnight. Dr. Conrad Murray spent less than 2 years behind bars. He was originally sentenced to 4, but because of a change in California law, he was released. Murray denied any wrongdoing throughout his trial, and his lawyers are now fighting to actually reinstate his medical license. This news comes after AEG Live, the company responsible for hiring Murray, was found not responsible for Jackson's death. The leaders of Germany and France are offering to hold talks with the U.S. to come up with a mutually acceptable surveillance option. This comes after German Chancellor Angela Merkel thought her cell phone had been bugged, uncovering 35 other numbers of world leaders who were being monitored. Merkel says that this discovery has severely shaken the relationship between Europe and the U.S. With these meetings, the two countries are attempting to fix the relationship between them and the U.S. The Obamacare website suffered another glitch yesterday, making the prospect of signing up for the Affordable Care Act online even more unstable. This latest problem comes days before Secretary Kathleen Sebelius is set to testify before the House Energy and Commerce Committee about the glitches plaguing the website. Republican lawmakers are signaling a new fight to dismantle Obamacare, saying that the computer problems are only the tip of the iceberg. And Colleen Ritzer, the math teacher killed in Danvers, was remembered over the weekend. Buses roared into Andover carrying students and Ritzer's family members. They stood in groups placing pink and white bouquets on the St. Augustine Church steps. People visited the church throughout the day, sharing memories of Ritzer and her kind spirit. Ritzer was killed with a box cutter by her student, 14-year-old Philip Chrism, last week. He's now facing a murder charge and is being held without bail. Now that's all the news I have for you guys this morning. Back to you on the couch.
So Brittany, back to the Murray case. Were you shocked when Dr. Conrad Murray was released so soon?
Absolutely. Just the fact that he was released so early was the most shocking part about this case. But because of the new change in California law, every day that he did serve in prison, he got an extra credit. So he only really had to serve 2 out of the 4 years. He snuck out the back. He tried to avoid paparazzi. But this is definitely an upsetting thing for all Michael Jackson fans.
Now, Brittany, these international surveillance issues can only be described as embarrassing for the United States. How can we fix relations between the U.S. and Europe after this?
Well, it's definitely embarrassing. Out of the 200 names released by Edward Snowden, 35 of those numbers were numbers of world leaders. So after that came out, we definitely had to do some major damage control. So what I think should happen now is that President Obama should meet with all the world leaders on that list and just get together with them, put everything out on the table, no more secrets, no more hiding anything, and just get everything out in the open.
Thanks, Brittany. It's time for us to go back to one of your earlier stories. With all the problems surrounding Obamacare, where would the president choose to speak but right here in Boston tomorrow?
That's right. The president's coming, and he's going to be speaking at Faneuil Hall tomorrow at 3:55 p.m. He chose Massachusetts because of the bipartisan bill that was passed in 2006 by Mitt Romney. And this bill was supported by a lot of Democrats in Massachusetts. So it just makes sense that he'd be coming here to appeal.
That's right. Clearly so much opposition against Obamacare from the GOP right now. So he's chosen Massachusetts. Security is going to be intense in Boston tomorrow. That's all I have to say.
That's right. And he's choosing tomorrow, which just happens to be a busy day for Boston itself. But it also is the day that Kathleen Sebelius, like Brittany mentioned earlier, is going to be speaking. So it's a big day. It's a big day for the country. And it's a big day for Boston because of the World Series as well. Like you said, security is going to be super tight. Yeah. And we're wondering if Obama's going to come to the game.
That's what I want to know. He could just show up and throw out the first pitch because he is the president of the United States after all. But it's kind of funny because he's here sort of as a last-ditch effort to get people rallied around Obamacare. And yet, Boston is already excited over the World Series. There's just going to be too much excitement in the city tomorrow, I think.
I know. It's a little frightening because we know how Boston can get sometimes. But Boston people are also the most spirited, so I think, Boston's a perfect place for Obama to be. And, Halloween's on Thursday, too, so it's just a huge week for the city.
Yeah, I think he'd want to stick around and hang out in Beacon Hill with John Kerry. I don't know, that's sort of the place to be.
Help give out some candy, maybe?
That's what I've heard. That is the place to be. Halloween in Boston. A lot of politicians get into the fun, so it would be kind of cool if Obama wanted to stick around.
That's right, but right now we're looking for the weather this weekend. So Mal's gonna fill us in on our Halloween weather. Mal, what's it looking like?
And good morning to you both, and I'll have your Halloween weather update in a minute, but right now it's 36 degrees outside. Feels much cooler than that. Around noon, hopefully temperatures will get up to about 50 degrees. Luckily, skies will be clear all day today. However, it's still going to feel cooler than that, so be sure to wear lots of layers. By 9 p.m. tonight, it's going to cool down to 42. Clouds will also roll in over Boston, partially cloudy for the rest of the night. And because of those clouds, we might have some scattered showers tomorrow. 20% chance of rain in the afternoon, high of 53, low of 38 degrees. And hopefully the rain will hold off for the rest of the week. Let's take a look now at your 5-day weather forecast. On Halloween, unfortunately, Maggie, it will be mostly cloudy for most of the day with a 40% chance of rain at night. Sunset is at 5:39 p.m., high of 59 degrees, low of 53. Friday will also be rainy with a 60% chance of showers at night. However, we're looking at a high of 65 degrees, low of 58. And Saturday, hopefully the showers will be out of Beantown, still partially cloudy with a 10% chance of rain, with a high of 61 degrees, low of 53. And that's your local weather update. I'm Mal Meyer. Back over to you guys, Anthony and Maggie.
Thanks, Mal. I think I'm going to have to go with a less risque costume with this weather.
Maybe need a little jacket over that sexy kitten outfit, right, Anthony? But anyway, we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, I'll be showing you an inside look of La Bayadere at the Boston Ballet. Welcome back. Last week, I had the privilege of seeing a sneak peek of the Boston Ballet's La Bayadere. Let's check that out now. At the Boston Opera House to get a sneak peek of Boston Ballet's latest production, La Bayadere. Let's go on in and take a look. Set in ancient India, La Bayadere tells the tragic tale of the love between a beautiful temple dancer and a warrior. A story of love, vengeance, and fate. This show is what the Boston Globe is calling breathtaking. The music, the costumes, the choreography, the ballerina inside me is freaking out. So now that you've seen a little bit of the show, be sure to check out the actual production, which will be running at the Boston Opera House until November 3rd. And this has been your exclusive look into the Boston Ballet's La Bayadere.
So Maggie brought us a little bit about La Bayadere, but now we are graced by the presence of Sarah Roth, who's actually dancing with the Boston Ballet right now. Sarah, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Maggie. Thanks, Anthony.
Can you tell us just a little bit about your history with the company? I know you've been with the Boston Ballet for years now. Just a little bit about that.
I've been with the Boston Ballet for 11 years now. This is my 11th season, and each one is new and spectacular. I this was my very first place to dance, Boston, and it was the very first company that I ever called home for my professional career.
So it must be a crazy journey from the years in the studio to finally being on the big stage. What's that sort of audition process like, and then the rehearsal process to come together with a bunch of other dancers who you might have never worked with?
Yeah, when I first got into the company in Boston 11 years ago, I was a college student. I had graduated from Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, and I came to Boston on a whim as a reach to maybe get into the Boston Ballet Company, and I auditioned with 200 individuals in the big studio on 19 Clarendon Street, and I got a job. I was the only person left at the end of this huge cattle call audition, and it was the craziest, most wonderful day of my life, because I knew that from then on I would be able to do what I love to do every day.
That's awesome.
The rehearsal process is just sometimes pure insanity, because you're throwing together a massive story with so many different elements and so many different characters and so many different little nuances.
Can we talk about working with the choreographer specifically and the choreography for this show?
Well, the choreography of this show, it's based after Marius Petipa, and the original version was in 1877, so I am not that old. I did not get to work with him. But it was staged by Florence Clerc, who's a former étoile with the Paris Opera, which means she was like the heavenliest, best ballerina ever. And she worked with us and has a very particular eye about the way that she wants the characters to be played and the emotions that she wants to be involved. And that goes across the board, whether you're Nakia, the star of the show, or if you are doing the smallest character role, or even the supers, the extra individuals who come in who aren't a part of the company. They all have such a responsibility.
So you guys are basically able to sort of bring your own personality into whatever character you are. And it might not be the same as the 19th century version, but this is something new that we can enjoy. Yeah,
every character puts their own stamp of themselves on the guided hand.
Was there a certain part of the show that was a particular challenge for you in the rehearsal process and for you still now as you're performing?
Yes, definitely. Every night, 24 women come down a very, very tall ramp at the beginning of the third act of La Bayadere, and we do a very, very slow, controlled movement sequence. We have to be exactly together, and if one little thing goes wrong or off, or if one person isn't as focused as they need to be, it brings down the whole experience for everyone. So it's very much a nerve-wracking. You see everyone before the third act goes on, like doing their own like individual like shakeout ritual, or like some people are praying, some people are like touching, like, oh my gosh, different places.
Get in the
just
zone
like
sometimes.
whatever gets them in the zone for going on stage.
Sarah, thank you for being here. That is an awesome look into a great performance that we're all looking forward to seeing the whole thing. I know Maggie got to see part of it. But Sarah, she's one of the great dancers of Boston, one of the great athletes of Boston, I want to say. But now we have to talk about some of Boston's other athletes with our own Mike Cantalupo. Here's the sports.
I think I'm going to student rush those tickets. That looks pretty good. You see what happens? We leave for the weekend, and the two strangest endings to World Series games possibly ever happen. Game 3 was the first World Series game to ever end in an obstruction call, and Game 4 was the first ever game to end with a pickoff. So what could possibly happen in Game 5? Well, we found out last night with Lester and Wainwright on the mound. We take it to the top of the 7th. Here's Cody Ross. Just find a random guy with a beard, and you know what? He'll make it happen for the Red Sox. This ground rule double puts the Sox up 2-1. You know, it's just like any person for the Sox so far this series could come up with a hit at any time. And then there's always, Koji Uehara, who just always is lights out, wins it for the Red Sox. The Red Sox win Game 5, 3-1, and that one puts the Sox up with the 3-2 advantage, and they will look to close out the series in Fenway Wednesday night. You already know I'll have those highlights for you ready on Thursday morning. It'll be a Game 2 rematch, which doesn't really bode well for the Red Sox. On the mound once again, it'll be Michael Wacha versus John Lackey. But you know what? The Sox are surely feeling good about getting that DH spot back in their lineup. And guess who's back? back again. The NBA is back, and it tips off tonight. 3 games on tap for you this evening, including the battle for Los Angeles. The Lakers will have to deal without Kobe Bryant in the first game, and then also on tap, the defending champion Miami Heat will look to continue their league dominance against the Bulls, who finally have Derrick Rose back and healthy after an ACL injury. Boston will get its basketball fix back Wednesday night when the new-look Celtics will take on the Toronto Raptors. The game will give us a real taste of these new-look Celtics, especially since it's really anyone's guess who will be in their starting 5. Now that's all I got back for sports. Back to y'all.
All right, Mike, with the series headed back to Boston, will the Sox close it out in Game 6, or is it going to be a little bit more trouble for them and it's going to go to a Game 7?
Anthony, I know you're a diehard Red Sox fan, and I know that you know this one's going to be hard. It seems like I always talk about Michael Wacha, but Michael Wacha always delivers. He is so good for the Cardinals. It's going to be really, really difficult. But that isn't saying that in Game 7, the Red Sox aren't going to close it out. I think that they will.
Well, I think this one could end in 6 if Lackey has another stellar performance, which, we can't doubt him anymore. He was spectacular last time. He was spectacular against Verlander. He can do it again. And I think Wednesday, it's going to end.
That's true. We're hoping we're not going to have to go to a game on Halloween. But Halloween is not here yet, and there are already some characters acting out in Hollywood. We'll go to Christian now for the latest.
Thanks, guys. Unfortunately, today we have some bad news in the studio. Rock legend Lou Reed passed away this past weekend. Reed was experiencing complications with the liver transplant he had received last April until his liver failed this past Sunday. Reed was a founding member of the band The Velvet Underground and a contributor to the rock genre as a whole. The band even caught the attention and praise of Andy Warhol for songs that Reed had written. Since then, he has had an illustrious solo career and has been performing ever since. Reed was 71 when he died. Chris Brown has fought his way back into the news. Literally, the singer is facing a very serious felony assault charge. Brown was in Washington, D.C. early Sunday morning when he punched someone square in the face. There are already 2 extremely opposing stories coming from the victim and Brown's attorney. According to the victim, Brown punched him and broke his nose after he tried to photobomb a picture of Brown and 2 ladies. Brown's attorney says that the victim was actually trying to sneak onto the tour bus and Brown was just preventing trespassing. The victim is pressing charges for assault and potentially a hate crime because Brown shouted, "I'm not into this gay sugar honey iced tea, I'm into boxing." Brown is facing upwards of 4 years because he's still on probation after assaulting Rihanna. So a word to the wise, never photobomb an aggressive celebrity's new profile picture. Who knew blackface was coming back to style? Trendsetter Julianne Hough got chastised this past weekend for a tasteless Halloween costume. Hough decided to go to a Halloween party dressed as Crazy Eyes from the new Netflix series Orange is the New Black. For those of you who don't know the show, Crazy Eyes is an African American while Hough is not. You'd think someone who pays an agent and a publicist to edit and revise their life wouldn't be caught dead in such an offensive act of blatant ignorance. Hough released a heartfelt apology to the actress and the community, so hopefully all will be forgiven, at least until she begins twerking in blackface on Dancing with the Stars. Glitter connoisseur and auto-tune expert Kesha has officially been deemed too vulgar for an entire country. Who would have guessed? Both Malaysia's Ministry of Communication and Multimedia separately sent letters rejecting the pop princess's planned concert for this past Saturday. Kesha, whose lyrics generally have a lot to do with premarital sex and the consumption of liquor, was deemed too culturally and religiously provocative, despite the fact that she promised to dilute the show to fit Malaysian government's performing guidelines. Last month, Grammy-nominated Lamb of God was also rejected by the Malaysian government for having blasphemous lyrics, and now they're costing Kesha's tour approximately $350,000, which, to be fair, would probably be spent on more gold chains, booze, and machine gun stilettos. I guess Malaysia wasn't feeling like meeting her in the back with the Jack at the Jukebox. That's all the juicy gossip I have for you today. Back to you guys on the couch.
Thanks, Christian. Now, I've been to Kesha concert before, and let me just say it is a little wild, but looks like Malaysia wasn't ready for this. What does this ban on Kesha mean for traveling tours?
Well, it was a really gutsy move for Malaysia, and we might be seeing some more cancellation from, religious-based governments in the future. So, I can't imagine that Malaysia's real excited about Lady Gaga's disco stick coming to visit.
All right, Christian, well, you didn't get to meet Lady Gaga or Kesha, but you did get to do something that lots of Emersonians everywhere wish they had, didn't you?
You're right, Anthony. While I wish I could have had a sitcom that was all about me, I actually got the next best thing. I got a chance to take one last look at Emerson's living room, the Will and Grace set in the Iwasaki Library.
It's Christian. I'm going to be going inside the Will and Grace set here at the library, and I'm actually going to be talking to the executive director of the library to get all the ins and outs of the Will and Grace set.
Everything that's in this room was part of the set during the final season. The difference is that it's squished together. The flats during the shoot were 14 feet high. We don't have that height here. The furniture was spread out so that actors could move, cameras could move among it.
You're giving tours for the Emerson community tomorrow. Just speak a little bit about what you'll be showing the Emerson community, any little secrets that we don't know.
Sure, I try to focus on things that you can experience when you're on this side of the glass. You can get up close, you can open doors and look inside.
Right.
We look at the level of detail that they go to on the set. If you look in the mail tray over there, you will see that every piece of mail in that mail tray is addressed either to Will Truman or Grace Adler. The continuity director told us that these bowls of candy used to drive him crazy. And this is real candy in the bowls, and the actors would eat the candy between takes. So he was always trying to put just enough candy in so that it looked the same as they did during the previous take.
The set has already begun the moving process to the Emerson Los Angeles Center this week. Students had the chance to take a tour just like I did, but if you missed out, just head to the 3rd floor of the Walker Building to take one final look. Now GME has to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
And we're back, and we're joined by our kick-butt friend, Kaleigh Crowell. Kaleigh's going to show us a practical workout with an inappropriate title.
All right, Kaleigh, what's in store for us this week?
All right, our workout today is called ass and abs, simply because we're working our butt and our abs. So, Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, First things first, hit the deck.
Oh man, here we go.
Hands and knees. Now, our first workout is really simple. All you're gonna do is pick your right leg up and press your heel up towards the ceiling. And if you do probably 30 reps on each leg, you'll start to feel that, squeezing those butt muscles.
Yep. Starting to feel it already.
Try that left leg.
I can actually feel it in my quad too.
Yeah, you get that whole leg workout. You get a core workout as well, lifting that leg up. So that's a really quick and simple way to work your butt.
Cool.
We're gonna try a different exercise too.
All right.
So if you get on your back, sit up position.
Sit up time.
Yep. So hands right by your side, and instead of sitting up, you're gonna lift your hips up.
All right.
So squeezing that butt muscle.
Okay.
You can hold it up there as long as you want. You can do some reps with it.
So just press
You
that
guys
up.
feel that?
I'm feeling it. Yep.
We're really not doing that much motion, but I think it's just the position your body's in that really makes you feel it.
It's a really simple exercise.
And so, you don't want to bring your butt all the way back down to the floor, right?
Exactly. Challenge yourself.
You got
can
the
even
leg
lift your
going
leg
over
up.
there.
Oh yeah. If you want to feel it a little more,
Okay.
just keep that leg straight out. Just tap your butt to the floor.
Yep, feeling that one.
You got it. Now try the other leg.
I think that makes all the difference right there.
Oh yeah. It is a great workout, really quick and really simple.
Let's try it with no legs.
Oh, Anthony, I was going for the challenge. All right, now that your butts are worked out, they feel good?
Yeah.
They feel firm?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. We're gonna do some ab workouts. So this is my favorite ab workout ever. It's called Gut Busters. All you do is instead of doing a regular jumping jack like this, you make some fists, and when you come down, you hit yourself in the abs. Make sure your stomach is tight, right around your belly button, and let out some breath when you do it.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, let's try
Try it out.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Maggie's making a little noise. I like that.
You can make some noise, yeah.
Like Venus and Serena.
Oh yeah.
Helps, right?
Like a tennis racket hit.
Exactly.
Good.
So you're
I
supposed
can
to hurt a
even
little
hear,
bit, right?
yeah. I can even hear Maggie hitting
good.
those hands on her
So
stomach.
I'm not going to wake up in the morning with any bruises.
No
is that right?
bruises, but you should see a little bit of redness so you know you're
Okay.
conditioning your body.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I like this.
If
Gotta
you
So
keep
we have
up
to
with
break
this
down
one.
the muscle to build it, right?
Exactly,
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
I
Okay,
gotcha.
well, Kaleigh, thank you so much for joining us. And I have to slip in here that it is also Kayleigh's birthday. So we want to wish her a happy
19
birthday.
years old.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. That's all we have on GME today.
You got to check back on Thursday, though, because it's our Halloween episode. We'll see you then.